I met Tony when I stopped at that dingy gas station, half a kilometer south of the last town. He was a jolly fellow, in his late 20s. The next town was nearly 50 miles away, and he was in dire need of a lift, and offered to pay half of my gas bill. He looked like a decent guy, and I was short on cash. So, I thought, why not? He immediately struck up a conversation with me. He told me that he worked at a firm a couple of towns away, and he traveled about once a month to meet his girlfriend. Soon, the conversation was in full flow, twisting and turning around various topics, just like the bends on the road. He was an avid reader, a die-hard cricket fan, and madly passionate about movies, just like me. Suddenly, with another sharp twist in the road, my headlight fell on a shabbily dressed man standing about 100 meters down the road, waving wildly for a lift. I had almost applied the brakes when Tony said, in a very serious tone,
"What are you doing? Didn't you hear the news? Keep going. Do not stop."
Something in his voice made me hit the gas pedal instead of brakes. I saw the silhouette of the hitchhiker roaring past us as I sped full throttle. Soon, he was nothing but a distant shadow in the rear view mirror. My grip on the steering relaxed a bit, and as I turned towards Tony, his face was still white, his expression ghastly. "Hey, relax. And what fucking news are you talking about?" I shot at him, and easily, there was still a tinge of fear in his tone when he replied,
"I just read it today. This 30 stretch that we're on right now is very infamous for a serial killer who lurks here after dark. There have been 3 murders in past couple of months. The reports say that he pretends to be a hitchhiker and signals passing cars for lift. If they're stupid enough to stop and let him in."
He let his words hang. Then he pulled out his cell phone, Googled something, and then shoved it in my face. What I saw sent chills down my spine. A few pics, one of a girl, her neck bent at a very strange angle. Another one of a couple, both stabbed multiple times in the heart and again, their necks broken, blood splattered everywhere. As I scrolled through the pictures, a realization now hit me with full force. I already had a hitchhiker in the car. I looked up from the phone. Tony was staring at me. His expression had changed. Gone was the ghastly expression. There was a sudden gleam in his eyes, the gleam that only comes from knowledge of how the future is about to unfold. This is it. This is how it's going to end. Maybe he should stall. I uttered, slowly. But why hasn't police been able to catch him? This killer. Apparently, he's been doing it for a couple of months now. He has a pretty obvious modus operandi, pretending to be a hitchhiker, flagging down cars, and gutting their owners. He must lie somewhere close, Tony replied.
"I don't know."
His tone was neutral, dangerously so. I had to act confident. I looked directly into his eyes and said, "I have a theory. Would you like to hear it?" He stared back at me. By now, we both knew that this was just wordplay. Soon it would end, and then the real horror would begin. We both realized that there was no escape from it, and we both had made peace with it. At least, I knew I had.
"Sure, go ahead."
He smiled. Maybe the reason police haven't been able to catch the serial killer is because they have got it all wrong. Maybe the killer is not the hitchhiker. Maybe he's the driver. The killer steals a car and drives along this road. When he sees anyone stranded on the roadside, he offers them lift. And once they get into the car, in one swift motion, I took out the dagger hidden beside my seat and plunged it right into his heart. He gasped, his eyes wide in shock. Then slowly, I twisted the dagger. I felt life draining from his body, which was still convulsing violently. Once again, I felt that power surging through my veins. The same power I had felt when I had mutilated the half-dead bodies of that girl and that married couple. The power that made me God, the destroyer. I smiled in satisfaction. This one was not like the others. When I saw that change in his expression earlier, the gleam in his eyes, I knew he had understood I was pretty intuitive. But somehow, that made it even more fun to play with him before gutting him or Tony. Trapped like a rat who knows the cat. He's just playing with it before going for the kill. I slowed down the car and parked it on the roadside. It was pitch black. I got out and carefully shifted Tony's now lifeless body to the driver's side. Then I wrapped my ice-cold fingers around his limp neck. As my hand jerked, I heard a crunching sound. It was the sound of a neck snapping. And that sound was music. It was symphony.